What is up, everybody? We got a new therapy session because this time we got to go in on some directors because they done lost their ever loving mind in 2020. Boy, it's getting real out here in these coronavirus impacted streets. How you doing, Mr. T?
What's going on, man? How's it going?
All right, so I don't know if you guys know. Well, you probably heard by now because I know there are a lot of families that are happy about this because they ain't got to spend $300 no more to go to the movies for their family. But WB has pretty much said, "Look, we got HBO Max. We know it ain't nobody's having full capacity theaters. We're gonna put stuff out same day on HBO Max as well as in theaters." Personally, I think it's a good idea, and I don't even have a wife and kids. I think it's a good idea because at the same time, my thing is this. We know what's going on right now. We know that you're not going to have full capacity. This is the best way for these corporations to make their money back, in my opinion. Or at least have a shot at trying to make something, trying to break even, at least, in my opinion. So, T, let me ask you this first before we get into the whole Dennis Villeneuve and Christopher Nolan and James Gunn and everybody being mad. How is it really true that if a movie sits on the shelf for an extended amount of time, is it really true they can lose like millions of dollars a day?
Yeah, because you spend all that money.
Well, here's because I don't understand. So, can you kind of like break this down for me? So basically, because if you're not advertising it, you're not spending the money on advertising. So what's actually being spent?
Well, it's just what's already been spent. You had deals in place, things like that. You had to pay the crew, you had to pay the actors. They still have to make their money, and a lot of actors have back end deals as far as ticket sales, revenue based on that stuff too. So I can understand them getting a little upset about that, and I would think that Warner Brothers would, have worked something out with some of these people. So I can go with that. But as far as putting the movies out, you can't. Look at Disney. Didn't they just lay off 32,000 people or something?
Yeah, they didn't have a choice.
Because you have all these bills are coming due. You have to pay. These things have to be paid. And if the movies aren't going to the theater and there's no revenue whatsoever being made, then what are you supposed to do? You can't just sit these movies. These movies sit long enough as it is. Movies sit on the shelf long enough as it is. And you're asking, these the executives. These are the guys who pay the bills. In movies, the executive is referred to as God. The executives, they're the ones who pay for it. They're the ones who put the bills. So for a director of all people to be getting upset, shut your mouth. Like you're paid. You've already been paid.
Yeah, so they get paid before the movie comes out, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You may have incentives. If you worked at a deal or not. Most directors, not really, unless it's their own project, unless it's their own baby. They don't really make incentives like that. Like it has to be something they wrote and direct, that way. Like a George Lucas with Star Wars. Like he put in deals, back end deals with Star Wars, which was very smart for him, obviously.
Yeah.
So it's different there. But if you're just a director who's, hold on to do something. Now, Christopher Nolan, he has a little bit more because most of his stuff is written and directed, is his conceptual stuff. So he has a little bit more to say about it. But that's just, again, that's just on the back end deal. I'm sure, because you have contracts, I'm sure Warner Brothers has to work out something with you, as far as that. If you're just complaining about money, that's one thing. I understand that. But if you're complaining about the fact that it's coming to, homes and, streaming and whatnot, just for the, you're making some artistic commentary about it. Oh, it's not, you're being pretentious. Then that's BS to me. So.
Okay. And the reason why I asked that, because I was reading an article and James Bond, the new James Bond film, they're like, look, we're going to have to come out on VOD and stream, because we can't keep it on the shelf any longer, because they were talking about they were losing and
they did all that advertising, so they lost all that ad money
Yeah, because that was supposed to come out April. Yeah, that was when they came out in April of this year. So they had already started the advertising thing and all that. So I understand why they were talking about that. Yeah, I was understanding why they were talking like that, because I'm sitting up here like, yeah, dude, it seems like the
Wonder
best.
Woman, same thing.
Yeah. So the best deal for them would be okay, we know what's going on right now. This is not a situation where this can be avoided for too much longer. We have to find a way to at least try to break even. Now, I will say this. Them trying to force Tenet out in July backfired spectacularly.
Yeah, look what happened.
Yeah, because one, in July, numbers was going haywire all over the world. So It wasn't like people was being nobody had a full capacity viewing. Like even the people in England, because there's a couple of wrestling YouTube channels I watched, and they also do like movie reviews on the side. They were like, dude, it was only like 10 of us in the theater, and we was all spread out. So I'm like, and let's just say that's how many they could have per viewing per day. You're still not making any money.
Yeah, let's be nice and give them 20 per
per viewing.
per theater, right? So say you have 1,200 theaters or something, man, maybe twice that. 2,400 theaters or something like that. Well, actually, you don't, because every theater is not open. So you have
every theater ain't open.
Well.
Yeah.
So we're all, remember Hollywood, we're all in this together, right? Remember they did a little video?
Yeah.
Apparently we ain't all in this together anymore.
Nah.
They're all about themselves now.
Well, I was sitting back and I was thinking, because I remember back when Disney did the whole $30 for Mulan thing. I'm like, when people were complaining, talking about I would never spend $30, I'm like, dude, if you went to the theater and saw that, you would have spent more than that. You have a wife.
I didn't have a problem with that. I had a problem with the fact that they should have put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
like I already paid for Disney Plus.
Yeah, it just should have been VOD
somewhere else.
Yeah, it should have been VOD. Yeah. So and it's not like, because even when they had it on Disney Plus, like I saw it in my Google Play thing. So I'm like, y'all should have just left it to VOD.
Completely keep it off of Google
Disney Plus until
Disney Plus.
Yeah,
until they had its VOD run, and then do that. But that was the bad play.
Yeah. But
the movie wasn't that great to begin with. That was another problem. So
yeah. It would have been different if it was like amazing, but it was sidebar. It was all right, but
it was just all right. That's the problem, right?
Yeah, and that's the problem, because when you have man, I love my Asian actors. I love my Donnie Yen, my Jet Li. I even like Crystal Yee-Fei. You can't have Donnie Yen and Jet Li in your movie, and Jet Li ain't whooping nobody ass.
It's completely dry the whole movie,
no. I'm like, no, you do not do that. Like, you give them something to do. I don't care what it is.
That was clearly, let's get names. China recognizes, and maybe we'll get a lot of money in China. China didn't even care about that movie, man.
China was like, man, fuck this movie. But yeah, I find it odd that because it was Dennis Villanueva, James Gunn, Christopher Nolan, and at first it was Patty Jenkins. Then she kind of backtracked.
Yeah, they paid her. That's why.
Yeah, they paid her. She backtracked. She shut the hell up. She shut the hell up quick. So that's why I was like, yeah, you got paid.
And she wants to make more Wonder Woman movies. Obviously.
Yeah, she wants to make more Wonder Woman movies, and basically, I can imagine how that conversation went. Hey, Patty, you know how you was just talking trash like about 20 minutes ago? You want to still work on DC movies? I suggest you have a change of heart. And here's a little Christmas bonus for you. Now,
although she just latched on to another huge franchise, so she's doing okay.
That's the thing. I'm like, okay, look. We don't know what's going to happen next year. We honestly don't know. Everything could go back. I don't think we're ever going to go back to normal.
Well, here's the thing. What happens if the virus mutates and we're going to need another vaccine? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a possibility.
That's the fear now. The fear now is that's going to happen.
Yeah, they're all thinking, oh, by summer, everybody has a
Nah.
vaccine will be good. I hope that's the case. Trust me, I truly hope that is the case. But this is science. It is possible that this virus mutates and we need a whole new vaccine to cover that outbreak.
If this daggone virus turns into the Insabanur of viruses, we screwed.
Right.
We're screwed.
So you can't sit back and be like, oh, well, can't we just wait till summer? Maybe,
no.
But maybe not. And here's another problem. Another problem is half the people are scared of the damn vaccine.
Yeah,
half the people don't want to take that thing
because they're not helping the situation. With that, in that you're not. Once again, sorry for this little side note, but I feel it has to be said when your main claim to say, hey, you should take this vaccine because we had 2 black scientists work on it, dude, that makes me not trust you even more. So,
I get why you're saying that because, black people in vaccines in this country have a history.
Yeah.
So you would think that we get black scientists and you guys should feel a little better. But, I can understand people still feeling like, well, that kind of scares me too.
Yeah, because now my spidey sense is going off. It's not tingling. It's full on blaring. So, so you're not helping your situation.
Like, it's like saying, to defend yourself against racism is like saying, oh, I have a black friend. Look, we got black friends here. No, that makes me worry a little bit more. Sorry.
Yeah, that makes me worry. It makes me a little bit more hesitant to even come near you.
Yeah.
So it's that situation. And then, like with the money situation, because the only one I've heard about losing the millions a day was the Bond franchise. But the funny thing about the Bond franchise is the way it was described in an article that I read, they can kind of hold off till about April, but by April they got to do something.
They got to put it out by April. Yeah,
they can't hold it past April. So that's
an entire year past when they were supposed to come out. And movies already have, how do I put it, have later releases, much later releases than the movie being finished or made. So you can only hold it for so long before people stop caring. For one, that's another problem. You got to keep the mind share.
Because that's my big fear with Black Widow. Because by now people just like, okay,
right? Nobody's talking about Black Widow. No, nobody.
You want to know what we're talking about?
You want to know what we're talking about? Forth and make you remember.
Do you really want to know what we're talking about now? That Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, that Loki trailer, that
right? That's what everybody's talking about right now.
We don't because. Look,
nobody's talking about Black Widow. Nobody.
Look, I love Scarlett Johansson. I even like Florence Pugh. I think they both awesome. I'm sitting there like
this ain't about the movie. This is about
This is just about like, okay, it should have came out when it came out. And to be honest, nobody was really asking for it except for a vocal minority.
Right.
And once again, as a comic book head,
I was actually asking for it, but before they killed her off, this doesn't make any sense. Now it's like. This is weird.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go backwards.
Unless Ryan Reynolds showing up to as Deadpool to have like a 10-minute scene in front of it.
Right. Like what?
Yes. But I mean, I think the problem also is as a comic book reader, it's one of those situations where I've read so many comics. The Black Widow comics, the best thing they ever had was the Bloody Ledger arc. By herself, it's not a good book because they have to bring in everybody else across the Marvel Comics universe to make the stories interesting and fun.
Right.
By itself, that's another one. That one,
she's not compelling enough alone.
But as a part of a team,
I mean, that's just a fact. That's not, that's not being biased. That's just That's just a fact.
mean, because there's a lot of them like that. Because that's why I'm so glad Gambit never got a movie. I love Gambit, but I'm like, no,
I love Gambit too, but I don't want. Not by himself.
Not by himself. He needs to be with the team because nobody knows how to write him.
Right.
By himself. They don't. So, no, put him with the rest of the X-Men. Don't do this. Because you're going to screw it up. Because the best story he had was Thieves and Assassins, which was basically mutant version of Romeo and Juliet.
Which was,
yes. Yeah, that's the best thing. And that was it. If you try to do Angels and Demons, people ain't going to get it. Nope. If you try to do the heist one they did where it was basically Gambit's version of Uncharted, that they did back in like 2016, which I'm like, this shit is stupid. It's not gonna
you try
work.
To do something completely original, then it's like it better be good.
It better be good, and if you don't have Ryan Coogler or Ta-Nehisi Coates writing it, it's probably not gonna work. So,
right.
I mean, it's just one of those situations. So I'm going back to this, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, Disney, you probably should have put Black Widow on Disney Plus. Like, instead of doing Mulan, you should have did Black Widow first, because Black Widow, people would have bought that, and they wouldn't have said nothing.
Right.
They wouldn't have said a damn thing. Yeah, not Mulan. And the reason why not Mulan first is because of the simple fact that people got mad at Crystal Yifei for not speaking up during the whole Hong Kong thing. And I'm like, she has family in China. If she says something, people, you need to understand, everywhere ain't America. Yeah, everywhere ain't America. And even in America, we don't really have freedom of speech. You can't run into a theater and yell fire.
Right. So the politics around that movie were just not the right time. It was not the right time.
Yeah, it was bad from the get-go. So that's why I'm like, if they would have did Black Widow like that, I think it would have been a much more positive, because people would have been like, you know what, I will spend this $30, even though I shouldn't. I'm gonna go and spend this $30 because me and the wife and the kids, I just saved $70 going to the theater.
Yeah, I would have watched it.
$30. Yeah, because once again,
Mulan.
Yeah, once again, I was telling people that were complaining, I'm like, look, as a single person, if I go watch this movie in IMAX or in D-Box, I'm spending $27. That's without getting concessions. I'm spending $27. So that's $30
like,
less than the 30.
Making a calculation that, oh look, our other live action, adaptations of classic, cartoon, but it's like Mulan doesn't have Lion King pull. No, it doesn't even have Aladdin type of pull. Like those are classics.
Yeah, and Lion King, they pissed me off with that bull. But yeah,
right. But it was still. I'm not saying anything about the movie itself. It was to me. I think the pull, the audience recognition. Like who doesn't know Lion King? Who doesn't know Aladdin? I mean, come on, everybody knows those properties. Who doesn't know Beauty and the Beast? Like those are all huge properties. Like
very huge, and like Mulan, they kind of stuck themselves in the foot when there was no Mushu, and there was, because people was like, "Oh, y'all gonna get Eddie Murphy to come back in."
Right, and like they.
He ain't even in this.
The Mushu, it was whack.
Yeah,
turn him into some kind of like mute, like butterfly dragon. I don't know what.
It kind of. To be honest, Mushu, Eddie Murphy and Pat Morita were awesome in the animated version of Mulan.
Yeah,
they were. Mr. Miyagi, if y'all don't know who Pat Morita is, Mr. Miyagi voiced the Emperor in
the
animated version.
Take away the fantasy elements. I mean, they didn't completely, because they had Mulan jumping and flipping all over the place.
Yeah, they turned it into wild food. They turned it into wild food. So
why get rid of the other fantasy stuff, the other fantasy elements? Like,
your guess is as good as. I guess they were trying to like play to the actual story of Mulan, because it's an actual.
They make it a historical drama. That's what they tried to do.
And my thing is, you can't really do that and slap Disney's name on it, because Disney don't understand that. You should have just not did that. So there's that as well.
It's just a bad move.
Yeah, it was a bad move all around, honestly. And it's a classic case of a company not really getting it, but trying their hardest to be
cart before the horse. Is that?
Well, no, I think it's one of those situations where like they don't really understand it, but they're trying to. Hey, I'm woke. I'm an ally. So, sometimes the best way to be an ally is shut the hell up and listen. Because sometimes people want to be ally. They want to save somebody so much that you don't even listen to the people that you claiming you are ally of.
Right. They go above
and beyond. And you're like, dude, shut up and listen to me. You're not even listening to me. You're like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna save you. Like, bro, I ain't asking you to do that. All you got to do is listen.
Trying to do PR for China and stuff. That's what they're trying to do.
It's like that's not gonna work, because one is like two completely different ways of life and cultures, and if you're gonna do that, you probably want to let China do it.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, why not? How about having a lead actress that isn't wooden as hell? Like it's another.
Yeah,
like,
or at least get a Asian director who in Asian writer in the Asian writing team. But yeah, when diversity. Yeah. I know people,
diversity.
Yeah, that's diversity ain't really diverse anymore, is it?
It's all a ruse, man.
Yeah, sometimes
look what we doing. Pat ourselves on the back.
Yeah, sometimes like there's some things that really don't need diversity because one
diversity for the sake of diversity is dumb. It's
dumb. Yeah, like sometimes you just don't. Some stuff don't need diversity. Sometimes you need to let the people that live that culture or live that life, let them do it.
Right.
Just let them do it. Let them bring their own flavor to it. Let them bring their experience to it. You don't need to have diversity for everything.
We need more Black people in this Irish historical drama. Like
no, like, no, dude, no. You need Irish people in there. You don't.
You heard of Black Irish? No, stop.
I mean, the only time I heard of that was Bernie Mac, and that was Charlie's Angels too, and that was hilarious. And that was a joke because nobody believed that, and not even the Irish dude that Bernie Mac was talking to. So I mean, it's one of those situations. It's like remember when we were reviewing Iron Fist and Finn Jones, they did that interview with Finn Jones, and he was like, "Oh, we have a Kunlun that's diverse," and I was like, "That should not be diverse. Kunlun should never have been diverse because in the comics, that's how he connected with Luke because they kind of had the same upbringing from a different perspective, where he was the only white guy in an all Asian society, and Luke was a Black kid.
Right, in Shadow Water. That's what was compelling about it. Like, stop messing with shit.
So that's one of those situations. So you pull back that layer and you start seeing, okay, so that's how they connected. The problem is now everybody will say, oh well, we want to prove that we're doing it this way, so we got to have everybody in here. And you're like, yeah, but the story you're telling, I put it like this. Eddie Griffin said it best when he was talking about Malcolm and Eddie and why it went off the air after 5 years. He was like, I want y'all to tell me something. You got two young Black leads. You have pretty much a majority Black cast, but we got 12 white writers in the writing room. What do they know about being young and gifted and Black? They don't know.
Right. So
that's an issue. So in the Mulan situation, when I found out that the whole writing room was like that, I'm like, dude, this is one of them reasons why you don't do that. Like, it's diversity is not a problem, but diversity just so you can pat yourself on the back and say you did it is wrong.
Right.
That's why I was happy about what they did with Black Panther. I'm like, because you're right, they needed to be Black. They need to be Black. I know Anthony Mackie didn't like it, but bruh, that's what you need. Now on something like Captain America, yeah, you can do diverse. You can be diverse on Captain America and Superman and all that other stuff. But when it comes to something like that, no, you don't need diverse. You need people that can actually speak to us and
understand the situation.
Understand the situation, and it can be more authentic. You can't have somebody in there to say, "Oh, I got 3 Black friends."
Yeah. To make a point, like it's so obvious to me, but it's not obvious to them. I was thinking about the reunion to the Fresh Prince. He was talking about I think Ashley saying something to her parents or something in a certain way, and they told, and they're all white writers, and they told the writers there was no way a Black girl would say that to her Black parents, and so they changed it because they don't understand that. Yeah. You know, like,
get your jaw rearranged.
Exactly. So the white guys didn't realize they didn't understand that, and the Black people in the cast said, "No, that's not how Black people talk to each other," and they fixed it.
Yeah.
So you can avoid that entire situation by having Black people write about Black people. It's not, that's diversity too.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's stupid.
It really doesn't. So I say that to say this: Christopher Nolan, Dennis Villeneuve, James Gunn, calm the hell down.
James Gunn is the biggest surprise because he was never an industry guy to me. Like he was Tromaville. Like he grew up on these crazy independent like horror comedy movies. Like so for him, I'm surprised by him. I'm not surprised by Chris Nolan. Chris Nolan is a pretentious, whatever. I mean, he makes great films. Don't get it twisted. But
but he still is pretentious. You can still be a pretentious asshole.
Old school Hollywood pretentious type of dude. Like I understand him. Villeneuve kind of surprised me too, but
I think it surprised me, but I kind of think I understand because he was thinking that my movie's gonna make $1 billion. Right. Well, buddy, that's before the pandemic.
Right. Things change.
Change. It's not gonna make $1 billion, bro.
Times.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Disney understands that. Disney was like, because of what they're doing. I guess we'll talk about a little bit in a minute. What they're doing, they're like, we want to make sure if something like this happens again, we're proof from that. We're saved from that. We have an outlet to where we don't have to worry about, having to fire a bunch of people. We don't want to be in that situation again. So they're trying to future-proof themselves. These guys just want to go back to the old way. Don't realize, hey, these things can happen again. This is,
I remember back in
similar. You got to change with the times, bro.
What was it? 2014 when that study came out and said pretty much the entire world was not ready for anything if a pandemic ever did happen and went global. The world wasn't ready for it, and it happened 6 years later.
Yeah.
So this now I will say this. I will say this because the human race is for all the human race's faults, we do adapt like a mother. So this happened, but going forward, we're gonna be better prepared because that's just how our race rolls. We're gonna be better prepared for this. So if it happens again, which it probably will, we will be better prepared to handle the situation as it arises. So I think now, and like you said, Disney and Warner Brothers, I understand why they're doing it because they are two of the biggest people in the game.
Right.
And they're not in.
And this is temporary. Like Disney, how many subscribers are on Disney Plus? Like over 100
They
million?
say it's 284 million right now. No, it's 100. It's 100 and because they're trying to get to 200 and something.
I remember it being like 170 something. So so they good.
And that's gonna go up. That's gonna go up,
and it's gonna continue to go up. And what is HBO Max like 10 million tops?
I think it's higher than that because they had a lot of their stuff go up when they finally put the DC stuff on there.
Yeah. So this is not gonna be, the regular thing forever. Like they want to up their subscriber base. And they look and they say, well, this is a great way to do it. Ingratiate ourselves with the fans and people who would like, oh, this is great that you guys are doing this. And they make sure movies can still come out regularly because you can't just sit on all this stuff. And everything can't come out in a year. You can't. Yeah. There's enough movies that come out in a year to where it's like, all right, we can't just drop a bunch of movies that were supposed to come out already into the next cycle because there's no room.
Well, and I think that's where Hulu and Netflix was coming in because remember they had started buying up a lot of the smaller films that had no business coming out in the theater any damn way if you let me and me tell it. But you know what? They did gangbusters on Hulu and Netflix though. And Amazon Prime, they did gangbusters for them.
They're printing money at Netflix right now.
They just because they went and did that, and Amazon went and got in on the game too because they're like, "Oh snap, y'all making money that way? Oh, we can grab some of these because there's so many, everybody can't grab all of them." So Amazon, Hulu, and Netflix just grabbing them. Now, of course,
everybody else is making sacrifices. Yeah, like you guys can't make a sacrifice. You're going to continue to make movies, and in the future, you won't have to deal with this. But this is just how the world is right now. Why not be, be a little bit more cordial to people in these situations?
And that's the other thing that I don't get. Like, you would think, like, Dennis Villeneuve, especially Gunn, would understand that. You'd be like, okay, yeah, Christopher Nolan, I get that. I understand. He's wrong, but I understand.
It's like, Gunn, bruh, you almost didn't even have a job in Hollywood.
Job.
Like,
Seriously.
you should be happy as hell.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's not like they're gonna look at this and say, "Oh, well, we're not gonna give you another movie."
Disney cut you, got rid of you. Warner Brothers saved you and made you viable again, and everybody jumped on and said, "Yeah, we love Gunn," and they made you okay again. So to be out here, talking these dudes down who saved your career, like I don't get it, man.
And that's the thing that's gonna be like, if I'm Warner Brothers, I'm like, you ungrateful.
Yeah, that's ungrateful as hell.
Yeah, and because we didn't have to hire you.
No, we took lumps. And they did. They took some.
Because people got mad. People got mad, but at the same time, I was like, "Come on, people! The guy who put all that stuff out, I was with Gunn. And I was like, the guy who put that stuff out on Front Street is a card carrying racist. So why you even, right? That's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter was, I'm like, dude, you should be like, look, I understand, but it's not like people are gonna look at this and say, okay, well, your last movie didn't do so hot, Dennis, because you had Doom, but it didn't make the X amount of money. It was a pandemic.
Oh, everybody will understand, bro. Everybody will understand. Because we're already making sacrifices ourselves that have nothing to do with movies. And we understand that we got to do these things right now, and it'll get better.
Everything in 2020 is going to have an asterisk. I know LeBron James don't want to believe that, but yes, bro, your championship has an asterisk next to it. It's 2020.
I'm sorry, bro. It does.
whether you like it or not. Whoever wins the college football playoff, I'm sorry, you're not really a national champion. It's going to have an asterisk because half of these teams can't even play
in the bubble. They didn't even want to be there.
and so like everything that happens in 2020, I hate the Dodgers. Congratulations for winning the World Series. It's going to have an asterisk whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
Y'all couldn't even play a full season. Y'all played, 60 games?
Yeah, everybody accepts that the Spurs, what was it, the 2000 championship when the season was cut in half? Everybody accepts that as an asterisk championship to this day. So sorry.
And now they don't say they sorry and they they're just like, okay, there was extenuating circumstances that year.
Yeah,
but here's the champions. That's the same thing he's gonna say now. It's extenuating circumstances this year. Dennis, James, nobody's gonna say that your movie sucked. Christopher Nolan, nobody's gonna not hire you because Tenet didn't sell well.
Yeah.
All right, so
you're Christopher Nolan, bro. Like,
bring your ego down.
In a row.
Yeah, I'm like, bring your ego down, bro.
Yeah. And it doesn't even matter. Like, the movies don't make money. They're still good movies. People will recognize them as being good movies. Yeah. There's tons of movies that make no money that win Oscars every year. So stop.
Oh God, yeah. So even over stuff that you like,
I never even heard of that movie. It up for Best Picture. I'm sorry.
And then you can watch it and you're like, this is some bull.
It ain't all that. There's some pretentiousness going on there.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I want to try to be understanding in their situation, but at the same time, I kind of can't, because it's one thing to get upset because of, okay, look, we're not going to make them, but or say, it's one thing to be upset because, the situation you expect your movie to be seen on the biggest possible screen ever, with the best sound system. But look, man, I got a good sound system at my crib right now. I got a 70-inch TV, 4K, bruh, and I got a projector. So if I wanted a better screen, I got a projector, so I can get it to 123-inch screen if I wanted to.
Right. Now I got to worry about catching coronavirus.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, it's not that we're ungrateful for your cinematic vision. It's just that we ain't trying to get sick and die.
Right. You're being a selfish butthole for not recognizing that and not being like, all right, yeah, I understand that this is how it is this year. People who want to go see it in the theaters will still go see it. Like, I still plan on seeing certain things by myself.
Yeah.
Because I go to work and there's probably more risk for me going to work than it is for me sitting in a movie theater that's only 2/3 or even 1/3 full. So
because I know where I'm at, we're back down to 20% capacity because of the numbers shot back up.
Right. So the numbers are ridiculous right now.
Yeah. So everything, like, they're still letting people, you can still go out, but like even restaurant stuff, they're back down to 20%, and in some cases 10% capacity, depending on how small or how big the venue is. So either way it goes, you're not making the money. So you can't say it's about the money, because if it is, then you should be thankful that WB is saying, okay, look, we're gonna put it on video on demand, the theater, and on HBO Max. You should be thankful.
It's like, what do you think you're gonna do when they put it in theaters only?
And it's only
how much money you think you're making?
Yeah, and only 15 people can go to can be seated in the theater.
Right.
And you only got 3 shows because your cinematic vision is 2 hours and 50 minutes damn long.
And just because theaters are open don't mean people are gonna go see it. Theaters open back up and people still did not go to the movies.
I mean, look, they had Tenet in theaters, and Tenet did not make, I think worldwide they made what? They barely got to 300.
Yeah, maybe 340, I think the last numbers I saw.
Barely. And that was and I think the last numbers I saw was about, I want to say it was, you're right, I think it was 340. And I want to say that was in October. That thing came out in July.
Yeah, they kept stretching. That's why it made that much, because it was the only movie in theaters. And so and once again, if you're only having 10 to 15 people, you only got 4 shows a day. What were you expecting to do? I mean, I just don't understand. I literally do not get these arguments from these people who should know better.
Yeah. Now, on WB and Disney, okay, so Disney had their D23 thing this past weekend. So they finally put out their slate. They actually gave people trailers finally for some stuff. I'm like, damn, I've been waiting for Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer forever.
Yeah.
Finally got Loki, finally got, and so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, ain't people, I know people, and T, you got a wife and kids, and I'm pretty sure, because your youngest one is not old enough to get a free ticket, right?
Oh, she'll be 9 next month.
Yeah, so you would have to pay for the ticket anyway, right?
Right.
So
yeah, I would.
When you sit up and you think about it, and you sit up and you saying, okay, and remember, there will be months, especially in the summertime, from April till about August, September, there were like 2 or 3 blockbusters every 2 weeks.
Right.
You're not going to see all of that.
No.
You can't. So
kids aren't even in school. Like they're learning at home right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I'm gonna keep my kids out of school, I'm gonna take the risk of letting them go to see a movie. Like that's stupid. Oh yeah, you guys gotta stay home for school, but hey, go see these movies. No.
And let me go and spend upwards of $100-$150 to get all those in it. No,
doing that.
Yeah,
we're sitting around. We're all excited right now that we're gonna be able to watch Soul and Wonder Woman on Christmas Day, chilling at home.
Yeah. Now, my only problem is, Warner Brothers, your service better be on point, because I'm telling you, if I can't watch Wonder Woman because of your damn service, I'm gonna be mad as hell.
Yeah. Where are the apps for Roku and whatnot? Like what they doing? Like that's that's another reason they don't have as many subscribers as they should. They're not on enough stuff right now.
Yeah, because I have to go through. I actually have to go through my Xbox.
And you know what? I didn't even know that was an option until you told me. I had not even realized.
I tried to go through my. Well, I could go through either my Xbox or my Chromebook, but I tried to do it on my phone, and for some reason, my phone won't connect to my TV when it's on HBO Max. It'll connect for Crunchyroll. It'll connect for Disney Plus. It didn't even connect for YouTube, but it won't connect for HBO Max from my phone. So I have to go through my Xbox to get to that, which makes no sense. And I'm sitting up here like, HBO, y'all need to put your stuff on Chromecast and Roku so I can add it to my bar, so I can just do it from my TV.
Right.
because
like,
that's how
Switch not having Netflix. Like, still,
yeah.
that's the kind of stupidity that's going on with that. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and my thing is, especially now, because there is no dumb TVs anymore. If you buy a TV, you're buying a smart TV. It's coming with at least 15 to 25 apps off top.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and everything I want to watch, I can watch on my smart TV. I don't have to hook it up to any device. That's convenience that will get you numbers. That gets you more subscribers.
But if I gotta search for a workaround way to get so they need to do something about that on the Warner Brothers side. Disney went on and did something about that like last December. when they,
like, what
is
the hold up here?
Yeah, when they realized that everybody really did love the Mandalorian.
Right. Oh, and Disney is in way more countries also.
Yeah, as well. So
what are you doing, Warner Brothers? What are you doing?
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, the only thing I'm worried about Warner Brothers is your service better be up to the task. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, Christmas Day, your junk getting throttled.
Yeah, everybody's watching it.
Yeah, the first thing they do when they wake up.
And by the way, these movies are on there. This is a good model. These movies are on there for 30 days, and then they go to VOD. So it's not like you can have them forever on HBO Max.
Now after their supposed run, which is probably gonna be about 3 months anyway, 2 to 3 months anyway, they'll come back to HBO Max.
And they come back, right?
Yeah.
So,
but
this is about Warner Brothers staying open.
Yeah, like I'm like, Nolan, Villanueva, do y'all really want a place to work, or do you?
Yeah, you guys have been Warner Brothers all this time. Like, you should know better.
Yeah, because the way you acting right now, you don't want to have to come back to work at all ever again. The way you acted,
and like, I want to see Dune in the theaters. If I want to see it, I'm gonna go see it. Like, I'll be by myself. I'm not gonna take the family, but there's certain movies that I do want to go to a theater and watch.
Yeah, and there's certain movies I'm good staying at the house and getting a pizza.
I'm good staying at home, right?
Yeah, there's just certain things, and we had already had this conversation though about like the state of theaters anyway, with streaming being as popular as it was anyway, people cutting the cord, like, and the mere fact that we're in an age where as soon as you put your movie out in theaters, it's ready to go on DVD. They just holding it to wait till the theater runs over with.
Right.
It ain't like it used to be back in the 90s where you had to wait 6 months.
Right. You could get away with that before because there wasn't a distribution for that stuff.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, and now your distribution is digital. So as soon as your stuff it's in your favor to put it out as soon as possible, because if you don't,
it reminds me of like the record companies and how much power they had as opposed to today, where these artists, they have all kind of venues that they can get at their fans with and make money with. They didn't have that back in the day. You had to make that a pen and paper record contract signing deal, and you were beholden to them, to whatever they wanted to do with you and how they wanted to charge you and all this stuff. Now
there was no SoundCloud. Yeah, there was no SoundCloud. There was no YouTube.
No SoundCloud. There was no iTunes. None of this stuff.
Yeah.
So they got, you have all these artists that came up in the 80s, 90s who are broke today because they had no other venue. They were beholden to those studios. I'm looking at who is it? I recently remembered that they were Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy is just one of the worst, record companies ever, as far as how they treated their artists and stuff. What are the De La Soul?
Oh yeah,
De La Soul. My goodness, like they're just horrible. Even to this day, they won't let them guys own their music.
Yeah, that's why they tell people the best thing you do is own your masters.
Yeah, own your masters. You have a chance to do it. Yeah, but yeah, it's we have to change with the time. That's how it works. I mean, there's certain things I don't like to have to change. What I like, going into Blockbuster Video and walking those aisles and looking for, but they had these crazy late fees and all this nonsense you don't have to deal with anymore. So I mean, there is a upside to a lot of the stuff that we're quote unquote losing. And you just got to change with the times, man. That's just how it is. You can't be fighting. You can't be the old dude banging against the wall. Like, that's just.
No, because you have to things happen for a reason, and stuff evolves. Tech evolves. This was going to happen regardless anyway, whether you wanted it to or not, because technology is constantly evolving. So at some point, guess what? It was gonna happen.
Oh, and here's the thing. Like your movies eventually have to come out on Blu-ray or some other distribution, some digital distribution or something like that. I won't buy it. if you throw in these temper tantrums, I'm gonna remember as a consumer and be like, yeah, I'm not giving you money.
I'll rent it when it comes to Google Play for 99 cents.
Yeah, but if you come out to switch it over to games, if you come out and you act like a CD Projekt Red, where you appreciate your fans or whoever buys your stuff, and you really put a lot of value into your games or whatever, your entertainment, whatever it is, I'm gonna remember that. I'm gonna be there day one for your next project,
just to show my support.
Just to show support, right? But if you're these type of dude, I don't care what you do.
Yeah, I'm just not understanding the temper tantrum.
It might make me want to go pirate it.
Yeah, I mean that still can't happen. So I'm like, and it's just one of those situations there's no reason to throw a tantrum though. And that's the sad thing about it. Yeah, there's literally no reason to throw a tantrum, and they're throwing a tantrum, and you're sitting there. And I know I'm sitting there thinking to myself, and I'm like, bruh, you do realize what's going on in the world right now, right?
And there's more movies to be made. Like if these guys, again, if they're mad about money, that's one thing. But even if they're mad about money, it can be like, hey, Warner Brothers, man, I took it on the chin for you guys last time. You guys gonna help me out next time, right? Yeah. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, you came through for us. We'll help you out. We'll hook you up on the next deal. And then that should be over there after that. If your movie is good, people are going to watch it. It's going to be good if it's in a theater or if it's on somebody's TV screen at home. It's still going to be good. Like, I don't know what the...
Well, to understand my vision, you have to see it in theaters. No, I don't. Like, I literally don't.
Remember Quentin Tarantino's like, oh, you got to see this in 35 millimeter, blah, blah, blah. This, you got to go to IMAX. And no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Good. It may be the optimum way to watch it, but I don't have to do it that way. Like, if the movie's good, it's going to be good however it's given to me. Like, it's I don't understand, man. That's all I can say.
Because sometimes I think sometimes I really think like they want you to see it like that to try to mask what they did wrong.
Right.
Because people be like, oh man, look at all, since we're both gamers, man, look at all these good graphics. Yeah, but your story ain't worth jack. Your characters don't have any development. The story is whack. It's damn near plagiarism and of other stuff that came before it. You're really not saying nothing. So I sometimes when I hear that makes me want to pay attention to the small stuff and overlook the copious amounts of CG that's probably gonna be thrown in my way.
Right.
Because the only reason why you want me to see this is in this way is because you know that you on that BS.
Exactly. Like Avatar. Like Avatar is not a great film. Like it is
not
a great film. It's not a great story. I love it for the technical stuff. So it's like, yeah, I would definitely be like, yeah, you need to see that, in 3D in the theater, with the great sound and all that stuff. Because that is a part of that movie. Because the story itself isn't that strong. It is about the technology and the visuals. So I get it for that. But Christopher Nolan isn't about that. He's about, giving you really cool concepts and stories and that kind of thing. That's what he's, in his, scripts and writing and all that. That's what his movie is supposed to be about. So if you're whining about that, or Villanueva for, he's doing Dune, right?
Yeah, he's doing Dune.
So if you're Dune is all about the story. Yeah. Those books are all about the story.
I'm kind of worried about that movie, but
I'm worried about it too. Yeah, because it's hard to adapt something like Dune. I mean, they tried it already, and it was an okay movie.
Because if you read I like reading, so I read a lot, and I read those books, and when I watched that movie, I was like, it's all right, but it ain't
And I felt the same way about Lord of the Rings. I'm like, how are they gonna make Lord of the Rings? That's gonna be hard to adapt. But they threw it out. They blew it out of the park. Like
And even though they had to cut a lot of stuff, they did a good job of taking what they had to make it work.
Right. Exactly. But, do you have to do you have a problem watching that at home on your
hell no
on your TV? No, because they're great stories with great characters.
Yeah,
that's what matters.
That's why I'm like, dude, I don't think anybody would care. But when you start making stuff like this, and once again, for James Gunn to complain, because the only movie he got coming out that was on that list was the only movie he got coming out that was on that list was Suicide Squad. I'm like, bruh, it's Suicide Squad. You are not making Shakespeare, dude. The reason why we want to watch this movie, you don't have to watch that movie in no damn theater. I'm sorry. The only reason why I was going to watch it anyway, because I want to see if I get my kill list right.
Right. That, and I'm sure I'm going to get some good laughs because I'm expecting, that being part of the kill list as well.
Yeah,
just James Gunn quirky humor and stuff. That's what I go for. That's what I'm going for.
And his brother being in there for no reason.
Right.
His brother just being in there, like, why is his brother here? Like, I know his brother by face. Like, I should not know that.
I'm cool with that. I mean, Sam Raimi does the same thing with his brother.
Yeah, he does with Ted. Ted and everything. You're like, why is Ted in Spider-Man? Why is he in Spider-Man?
Right, right. But he's funny. He's a funny character in Spider-Man, and it's part of the Raimi flavor to have his brother pop in there and do stuff. So that's just part of the thing. I get it.
Yeah, and at some point you're expecting to see it because in Doctor Strange, if Ted don't show up, I'm probably gonna be upset.
Ron Howard, he does it with Clint once in a while.
Yep, he does.
Throw Clint in there,
and you're like, why is he? And they're only in there for like one scene.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Maybe two scenes tops.
Yeah, they are not a main character of the story. So, no. But yeah. I was just surprised when I saw that, and I just was surprised to see the amount of directors coming out. And I'm just like, dude, y'all know what's going on right now. If you keep them going by what's happening, and you're keeping these movies on the shelves, and if it's true that they're losing millions a day and millions a week, I don't blame any theater, any movie company for saying, "Oh, the hell with that, we got to put it on VOD. I got to get something."
Yeah, because those bills are paid. The actors, everybody's paid. So how are you paying them if there's no movie being shown and making revenue? They got to do something. They can't just sit there on the show.
Look at these sports. Look at these sports owners. The NHL, the NBA, the NFL. They don't have fans in there, or they have very limited fans in there. Ain't nobody buying concessions. Ain't nobody them tickets. They're not making $450,000 a Sunday now. They're making
that's who I feel
$200. So they may be making $200, maybe.
Yeah.
If that, they're surviving off of TV deals and merch sales from because you could go online and buy from NFLshop.com. You can buy the jerseys and all that. I'm sure they're getting a cut of that, but they're not making money from the stadium from ticket sales. They're just not making it because you can't have full capacity. And hell, the San Francisco 49ers had to move to Arizona because California just said, to hell with it, you just can't have it here.
You can't have anybody.
You just ain't doing it here. You ain't gotta, hey, look, you can play football, you just ain't playing it here at this house. Right. That's basically what that was.
Pretty much, yeah.
But people said before the season started, they should have had bubbles.
It's a little harder for football, though.
It's a little harder, but I get what people were saying. I'm like, there was no plan. The problem was the NBA, the NFL ain't had no plan.
How many people on the basketball team?
15. 10
to 15, right?
Yeah,
How
15.
many people on a football team?
53, but you don't have to bring the whole 53 because half the time they don't even bring the whole 53. Ain't that game no way.
Well, people get hurt all the time, and they
ask Denver when they quarterback situation a couple weeks ago.
Exactly, that was one of the worst things I've ever seen on television. Was that game? Because you had two teams with no quarterback.
That was hilarious. That was funny. I mean, not funny if you was a Broncos fan. Sorry, Rob. But
really sorry, Rob.
It was funny to me because I'm like, the NFL know they should have canceled that game. They should have just canceled that game. They know they was wrong for what they did.
Canceled it and played it, before the playoffs. Something they should have
something, yeah. So, I think, like, once again, the issue with that was there was no literal plan, because if it's me and I'm planning for something like this, I'm gonna have like a 2 to 3 week buffer between the end of the season and the beginning of playoffs, just because if I have to reschedule games.
And it's not like they were who's Owen whatever right now.
Are you talking the Jets?
It's not like they were the Jets. They were actually trending in the right direction. The Broncos were. They were winning games. Yeah. They were competitive, and you do that to them. That's just wrong, bro. That's wrong.
And that's why I think that's why people were complaining about the NFL specifically, because it felt like they didn't have like an actual plan. The NBA feels like they actually have a plan in place.
I remember weeks before the season started, I'm like, they don't know. They just going. They have no plan. There's no plan here.
There's no plan. And they had a long enough time to figure something out.
Yeah, they had plenty of time.
They had plenty of time, and they just didn't. That's why I wasn't mad when you had players saying, I'm not playing this year. I'm opting out. I got a pregnant wife at home. I can't have her getting sick.
Right. A lot of people. So you had a lot of players opted out.
Yeah, they were like, nah, I'm opting out. As long as y'all don't mess with my contract, I'm opting out because I have extenuating circumstances at home, or I just beat cancer, or I just beat getting my immune system low. I'm not finna go. Why would I do that? Why would I put myself at risk?
Yeah. Some of these players, man, they drop dead on this freaking field from heart issues because of that stuff. So it's crazy. But again, we're all making sacrifices. But Christopher Nolan and Villeneuve and them dudes don't want to make no sacrifices.
Yeah, and it really does sound like they just, for lack of a better term, they just sound entitled to me.
Yeah, it's entitlement. That's really what it is.
And I'm like, dude, you do understand that the people that you want to come watch these movies don't care about you right now. Not really.
I mean, there's probably a little bit in there too, because the fact that Warner Brothers didn't come to them and he's going to drop this. But I can understand but they didn't want anything to leak. I totally understand that they just didn't want anybody to know because they didn't want any leaks. They wanted to. And
it's probably one of them situations where they were like, "Look, I don't want to have to hear it." Like they probably already know. Like, I'm not trying to hear that because this is a decision that has to be made, and we already know they're gonna whine, bitch, gripe, moan, and complain, and we ain't got time for that. The decision is made.
And here you had what was it, Kong versus
Godzilla.
The producers behind that, they're all mad because we just had who gave them $200 million? Somebody gave them some money, or about to. I think it was it wasn't Hulu. It was Amazon. I think they had
Amazon. Yeah.
They had a deal ready to go, and Warner Bros. Like, no, we have distribution rights. You don't be going around shopping our stuff. So they pulled the plug on that, and they got mad.
Shouldn't they have known better though?
Yeah, they shouldn't. What are you doing? You can't go decide your You know who owns the distribution rights? Warner Brothers does. Like, how you running around trying to shop stuff when you don't have the rights to shop it? Like, I just
try to make a side deal. Like, who the hell you think you are?
You're lucky Warner Brothers didn't sue you for doing that.
Yeah, because ain't that breach of contract?
That's totally breach. What are you doing?
Well, and the other thing too is, come on, once again, Godzilla versus King Kong. Am I expecting freaking Shakespeare? Am I expecting to get caught up in the dramatic? Am I expecting to get caught up in the dramatic nuance and the reason of why Godzilla and King Kong exist? No.
What is their motivation? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Their motivation better be to stop a mud hole in Ghidorah's candy ass and just smell what the rock is cooking.
Exactly. That's the movie I want to. that's a movie I want to see in theaters. You know, I
Yeah.
do want to see that in theaters.
But
I will take the chance to go see that in theaters as well. But it just makes me feel better to be like, all right, I don't have to.
I don't have to. And if things don't get better, I still have the option. I can watch it.
Right.
I can watch it.
At the time that movie comes out and there's like a huge spike and the vaccine isn't all the way out there, I have the option to be like, oh, I'll just stay home then. It's not worth it.
Yeah. And I ain't got to worry about nobody talking through the theater, even though I am going to miss going to a black theater for Godzilla. Man, I'm going to miss that.
Oh man.
Because sometimes
the experience.
Sometimes people, it's beautiful to go see a nerd movie with a bunch of black people. Because the commentary, man, like when I went to go see Godzilla King of Monsters, I had to go to a black theater because that was some of the best movie. That's a movie watching experience.
My favorite commentary of all time was going to a black theater to watch Men in Black. Was it Men in Black? It was Men in Black. A wonderful, happy, excited black woman was very excited to see her babies, as she called them, Will Smiths. Well, that's my babies, Will Smiths. That made the movie 10 times better. So
the funniest one I ever seen. I went to go see Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. And the part where Anakin starts force choking Padme, and Buddy behind me said, "Damn, Darth Ike Turner." The whole theater burst out laughing. It was wrong. I shouldn't have been laughing, but I wasn't the only one. The whole theater burst out.
Why couldn't I experience something like that?
Yeah.
Ike Turner. God dang. I would have been laughing to this day.
I'm like, dude, this is awesome. So, yeah. Wow. And it just, some movies, like, now, don't get me wrong, because I don't want nobody listening to me and thinking, oh, we should go see a black film all the time. Don't do that.
No, don't do that.
No, because you're not going to hear nothing. You're not hearing nothing.
You ain't hearing nothing.
You get comments. I think the only time I've ever heard a silent movie when I was in a black movie was Black Panther. They were quiet in that.
But my theater wasn't.
But right. Creed and Creed too.
Oh my God, Creed. The Creed movies.
Especially Creed 2 when Drago started beating on Michael B. Jordan and everybody like, kill Michael, man, what you doing?
He's taking licks like Rodney King over there, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, God,
he keeps getting up.
I'm like, man, his name is not Killmonger. Man, you gotta do this for the culture, man. Go back to Wakanda and grab that herb. You shouldn't have burned it all, you dummy. Like, dude, you just mixed two movies.
They're like, damn, Creed got that Kunta Kinte in him. He keep getting up. Oh man!
Like, brother, he just bust your ribs. Why you want to fight this dude? Man, shoot this dude, man! Like, bro, that theater had me rolling, bro.
Speaking of which, you want to touch on their decision about Black Panther?
Okay, so I'm not in agreement with it. I understand why they're doing it. They're not going to recast T'Challa. I do not agree with that. Number one,
I don't either,
because I don't think Chadwick would want you to do that. I don't.
No, I don't think so. And
I don't think
this is our first big black mega superstar hero, and you're just gonna not do it. Like,
you're gonna have to. And the problem, and the reason why I say this is because Chadwick Boseman was 43. It wasn't like he had like 18 more movies in him,
right?
So they were gonna have to recast at some point anyway.
At some point, they're gonna have to recast T'Challa.
Yeah, so I don't agree with it. I understand
T'Challa.
I mean, hell, with the way Wesley Snipes look now, he can still beat T'Challa.
He can still beat him, right?
Yeah. So, and he's 55. But I'm like, my thing is, you have enough good black actors that you can actually still do this, and it will work.
Right.
I don't agree with them doing it simply because I know what I heard what they had planned going forward. They were going to use T'Challa as the Steve Rogers type of character to like bring everything together, which I think would have worked. And I just don't know. I don't even know how you do this movie, the second movie, without T'Challa. Now, I know some people are like, oh, so they're gonna make Shuri Black Panther. People, I read that comic where she was Black Panther. Nothing wrong with Shuri being Black Panther. The problem is who is the villain she's going up against, and how are you going to present that? Because if she's going up against somebody like Kraven, fine, she'll beat the crap out of Kraven. If she's going up against somebody like M'Baku's going to destroy her.
I'm sorry, I don't want to see no.
And that's going by the comic.
I don't want to see no 80-pound Black Panther. It's just,
I mean, and that's going by the comic. That's not being, oh, you think women can't fight? I did not say that. I'm going by the comic, and I'm going by, what, because I liked when Shuri, the run that they did when Shuri was Black Panther. It wasn't bad to me. It was the Christopher Priest run. It wasn't bad, but Christopher Priest is a good writer. He knows not to put her up against Killmonger.
What are they going to do? That's my question. What are they going to do? We just lost, his dad. Like, he fought and got his kingdom back. Yeah. And now you're gonna kill him off after all that?
Well, they're gonna have to. I mean, at this point, they're gonna have to, because
what else? There's nothing else you can do. PG him. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Learn from Star Wars. That would be way more disrespectful than recasting him.
I mean, please learn from what Star Wars did. Don't do that.
Oh my gosh.
Do not do that. So, my thing is, I just think they should just recast him, because rumor has it that they were trying to bring in Namor to be the villain for the second Black Panther movie, or Doctor Doom. And if one of those two are, please don't make sure he's a Black Panther. Please don't do this. Please do not do this.
Doctor Doom needs to be the next Thanos type character. Like that's
yeah. If you're not gonna do Kang the Conqueror, if you're not doing Come the Conqueror, then do Doctor Doom. If you're not gonna do Come the Conqueror, because I said they should do Come the Conqueror. That storyline, because the Conqueror, that dude he's awesome.
I'm just thinking general audiences,
they don't know who that is.
People, they don't know him, right? They know who Doctor Doom is, though. So that's what I'm. That's what I was.
If you give them a good Victor Von Doom, you got it made. You just can't kill him.
Yeah. No more Fantastic Kids.
Yeah.
Let's make them age appropriate, please.
And if you have to, get Emily Blunt and John Krasinski. They married in real life. They can make this work.
Everybody wants them. Everybody, just make it happen. And Marvel is really good at giving the fans what they want. So that should be that should be a no-brainer.
Yeah, that should be a no-brainer. So, and the other thing too is Storm, from what I understand, was supposed to debut in Black Panther 2. I don't know how this is going to work now, but if they could still get away with that.
You can't have Storm debut in Black Panther without having T'Challa. I'm just going. I'm not.
Dude, we on the same page. Me and you are on the same page. But at the same time, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, I understand why they said it. I don't. That's why I don't agree with it. I'm like, dude, just
give somebody else a chance at the character. Yeah, another Black actor.
You might be able to score somebody that's a little bit younger.
Yeah.
But
make a little Marvel quip, man. You look a little different today, And
I mean, hell, they did it with Don Cheadle and freaking Terrence Howard. Like, it's not like they never did this before. Ed Norton and Mark Ruffalo. It ain't like they ain't did it before. And Ed Norton and Mark Ruffalo look nothing alike.
I was gonna say about Don Cheadle and Terrence Howard, like completely different.
Now the problem is we get to play in the world of Ryan Reynolds in his head. So if you bring Deadpool into this, something has to be said about that.
Right. you gotta be careful with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because best believe Deadpool 3 will have a reference to whoever gets recasted.
It'll be too soon. Whatever you do,
whatever he does, and most people will get mad, but they're gonna be too busy laughing to get too mad.
They're still gonna laugh at it though.
Yeah, they're still gonna laugh. They're gonna be mad, but they're gonna laugh. That's just how this works. So. I mean, the good news is Coogler and I think Ta-Nehisi Coates is working on the script. I think.
Yeah.
they're still on track. They say they're still on track for 2022. They're going to be.
What am I going to go see? Like, if you're going to tell us, here's my problem. If you're going to tell us that you're not recasting T'Challa, if you're going to tell us that, then tell us what the hell you're doing right then.
Yeah, like at this point,
now I'm just like, I don't care about this movie. I just don't care right now.
Yeah. So the thing is, I'm with you. Like, as soon as this story gets written, they ain't got time for no big spoilers. You can have one big spoiler, but you better tell us. You better tell us.
You tell us what you're doing. This kind of hybrid. Oh, Siri's gonna be it, and then M'Baka's gonna be it for a little while. No, I can't.
No, don't do that.
Board for that. I ain't on board for that at all.
Now I need M'Baku to be M'Baku.
I need him to be M'Baku, exactly.
Yeah, I don't need him to be Black Panther's surrogate. I don't need that. Like, that's why
bring back Michael B. Jordan as
Please, God, don't do that either. Please don't do that either.
I heard people say, I'm like, man, you ain't, man, no.
Now, I agree. I don't agree with killing him in the first movie, but the way he was going, they had to kill him. Yeah, but the way the story was going, you can't have him running around.
Yeah, but
so
I think the T'Challa we had would have been a guy who would have found a way, but like, I can't kill you
to redeem him.
Right?
They would find a way to redeem him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially since that was his cousin and he knew what
his cousin. He knew him for 5 minutes.
Well, his cousin came in there and in 10 minutes tried to kill him.
His cousin, and he had a point though. Like he wasn't like he was wrong. He was wrong about how he wanted to go about it.
Yeah, but I think that was the other issue. So I think, and the other thing too, since Chadwick didn't tell them about it, they couldn't properly plan for it. I don't think anybody expected him to die, but I think that's one of the situations where if you're working on something like that, it's probably a good idea to let them know, especially at the end of the end game, like, hey, look, man, I got colon cancer. Don't tell nobody. Or just pull Feige to the side and be like, look, I'm gonna tell you something in confidence. Don't tell nobody because I don't want nobody to know. But I got colon cancer. You probably need to be looking at, some recasting.
Yeah. I'm not mad at him,
If it was me, I probably would have did that just because I'm always about contingency plans. I'm always about a backup plan. So, and he knew it was terminal. It wasn't like
he probably should have told somebody. Like he should have told Feige.
Yeah, I would have told everybody, but I would have told Feige. That way, at least, or I would have told Coogler or somebody.
And then tell him what their plans are.
Yeah,
like, if y'all have to recast him, go ahead and do it. You have my permission.
Yeah,
and they would have had no problem with with the shift or whatever. So
that's why I'm like, I don't agree with it. I know why they're doing. They're trying to be. They think they're being respectful. I don't think they are.
Here's the thing, because he is sick. So even if he doesn't, pass away, I wish that would have been the case. He might not have been able to play this character just because he was sick.
Yeah, because he was still doing chemo treatments. That's why he was lost all that weight.
Yeah, people just thought, he's just a skinny guy. He walks around skinny and he puts on the weight for Black Panther. But no, it was because he was in chemo. Yeah,
and so I'm sitting there and I'm like, yeah, you probably should have told somebody. I'm not saying that, to be like, oh, this is your fault. I'm saying that because
it's one of no ill will towards it at all. I mean,
it's just one of the situations.
It's easier for us to say that in hindsight, like, oh yeah, you should have said something. But
I know
he was gonna beat it.
I know if it was me, I would have told Feige, especially at the end of Endgame when I'm not beating it. I just would have told Feige. I would have been like,
told somebody, but
I would have been like, look, man, this is what I got. Do not tell anybody. If I don't beat this, please recast. That's all I would have said.
Like nobody knew. Like not even only his family knew, right? Not even
only his family. Yeah, because Spike Lee didn't know.
With Coogler. Spike Lee didn't know. Like so.
The guy who directed Ma Rainey's, but he didn't know. Yeah. Nobody knew except like his family, like mama, daddy, brother. That's who knew, and his fiance / wife, because they did get married. So
yeah, she knew.
Yeah, she knew, but nobody else knew. He dealt with it on his own, and sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes not so good, depending on situation. But I don't like it. But if that's the decision that Marvel made, I mean, All I
gotta roll with it. I think it's a bad decision, but
I have enough faith in Coogler as a writer to navigate around it.
How do you navigate around a movie called Black Panther without having Black Panther in it? Like, I just don't know.
I don't
what
know
you're doing. What are you doing?
But, you know what? There might be a way to get around it if they do something with the necropolis, where you can have the Panthers of the past. You know, like in the scene with the Greenbelt, where you saw the Panthers on that tree.
Right.
If you can go,
I was thinking about that too. But here's my thing: that's not Black Panther 2.
That's not. But I mean,
that's Black Panther semicolon.
Necropolis.
You know what I'm saying? That's not Black Panther 2.
Yeah, but I'm just spitballing. So
no. I understand you, because I actually had that thought myself. But as I was having that thought, I was like, well, that's still not Black Panther 2. That's Black Panther Necropolis. So that's
and the other thing is make Shuri Black Panther, which I don't agree with, because I think I like Shuri as tech genius, Q-ish, smartest woman in the room. Genius. I like Shuri like that. I like Letitia Wright like that. Yeah, I don't like her in that role. Now, the other thing they could probably do,
gonna have him in his Black Panther suit the whole movie.
You can do that. I mean, you can do that because, like, just don't have him come out of it. I mean, there's whole cartoon episodes and animated movies with him never coming out of it.
He wears it the whole time.
Yeah. Like, the only thing he'll do is like let the face mask off for about 5 minutes so you know it's him. And I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, they best bet is to recast. But
even that would feel like cheap. It feel cheap to me.
Yeah,
cop out. Yeah,
I mean, it'll be a cop out. But I was when I heard he passed,
he's not making $1 billion. I don't think.
Yeah, it's not. It's not, because it's not. I mean, but once again, if you're gonna
a strong male lead character in that role to play him on screen, I don't see how this works any other way.
No, I don't either. But
there's plenty of guys out there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, y'all had a list before. I'm pretty sure y'all had a list before y'all got to chat with Boseman. So I know y'all like to get on. I know they like to get on like the little documentaries and little featurettes and say, "Oh, he was the first person we thought about." No, he wasn't, because if he couldn't have did it, because if he couldn't have did it because of scheduling issues, you had somebody else you could go to. So
I mean, every movie you always hear years later, he was almost this person. He was almost that. He turned it down. Yeah. It happens all the time where somebody turns it down, and the person who's second in place or third in place was just perfect for the role. And they're like, "Oh, can you imagine this person who turned it down?" No, actually, no, I couldn't. The other person was way better to me. So
perfect example. As a matter of fact, the perfect example: Douglas Scott was supposed to be Wolverine, but he had to drop out of it due to Mission Impossible 2. He was filming that, so they had to go with Hugh Jackman, who nobody knew.
Tom Selleck as Indiana Jones. Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
Like, can you see Tom Selleck as Indiana Jones today? No.
The only thing I can see Tom Selleck as Magnum P.I.
Magnum P.I. That's it.
I don't see him as nothing else.
He was the first choice to be Indiana Jones. He could do it because of Magnum P.I. So, come on.
Yeah, these things happen, people. These things happen.
James Bond. They wanted Pierce Brosnan 10 years before they got him. They couldn't get him because of his contract with Remington Steele. But eventually that's the guy who they wanted.
Yeah, because they were trying to. If I recall, because they wanted him to play for about a good 10, 20 years. That's why they tried to get him in 85.
Yeah, they tried to get him for the Living Daylights. And couldn't do it.
Yeah, and then we got Timothy Dalton, who he wasn't bad, but he wasn't.
No, the movies weren't that great. That's what
I mean,
the stories weren't that great.
I mean, but it did have Talisa Soto. Oh Lord.
That is true. That is true.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah.
Flashback.
boyhood crush. Yeah,
but he just never looked. He never looked right in the tuxedo. He didn't.
Nah,
he never felt right.
Was the overly violent Bond before freaking Daniel Craig.
Right.
Because Daniel Craig came in and like, I will kill everybody. Like, Daniel Craig, you need to calm down, bro.
I will kill everybody and everyone.
Like, bro, it is not that serious. Like, why are you angry? Why are you so angry? Bond is not supposed to be this angry.
Those how it should have ended animated shorts on the Daniel Craig Bond are hilarious. They go over that kind of stuff. His violence.
Because I didn't recognize it like that until they brought it up, and I'm like, nah, I can't unsee it.
Yeah, like Batman Begins, Daniel Craig or Bond.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they pretty much did that. So, I mean, that's just one of those things, I guess, that just happens, and like people try to, they want to make their interpretation that much different, and it really doesn't work. Because that Daniel Craig one and Timothy Dalton one never worked for me.
No,
it never worked for me. So
I mean, I liked Casino Royale a lot, but he still didn't feel quite right for me.
Yeah, I mean that's the sad state of affairs. Because I miss my. That's why I'm hoping after this last his last one we get the Bond that likes to have fun and that smiles.
Goes back to smiles and goes back to being the Bond that like you said, has fun.
Yeah.
Likes being himself, likes himself.
Likes having sex with the main villain's wife in their bedroom. Right. To make him extra mad. Like, bro, really?
You just piss him off a little bit more.
Yeah. the Bond villain that has this elaborate set up to kill somebody, but leaves them with one inept guard.
Exactly. The Bond who's not afraid to be a chauvinistic male because that's just part of his character. It shouldn't be something that people get upset about. It's just part of who Bond is. We don't celebrate it, but that's just part of who he is.
And he
has character flaws. Okay.
And I need a couple women with some really over sexualized names that I know good and damn well couldn't nobody introduce their mama to him.
That's just part of Bond. You can't take that away and call it Bond. It's just
because at the end of the day, it's a fantasy. It's a messed up fantasy, but it's a fantasy.
Do we have fantasies?
Yes, guys do not act like this in real life.
Excuse me, this guy in real life would have died in the first damn mission.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have lasted this long doing all the crazy stuff he's done. It is a fantasy.
I'm like, he gets caught in every mission and has to kill his way out of it.
Right. And the bad guy tells him the plan.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in real life.
Half the time without him even asking.
Are you telling me the plan right now? Okay, let me write this down.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're gonna eventually leave the room, and your goons aren't gonna be good enough to handle me, and I'm gonna be out of here with your plans.
I mean, one of my favorite Sean Connery moments was when the dude had the laser about to cut him in half, and he was like, man. "Do you expect me to talk?" He like, "No, I expect you to die, Mr. Bond." I'm like,
"Die."
This is a horrible line, but it works.
I like that. It works.
It's like horrible though. It's like who wrote this? But that actor, I gotta give it to him. He acted. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna put some gravitas behind it. Hey. It
was a wink. It was a wink at the people who watch these movies and like, oh, he's in another death-defying, stunt here. Like, no, I'm not trying to torture you. I'm trying to kill you. My plan is to kill you.
Dumbass.
I like that. I like that they winked at the audience on that.
But yeah, that's one of those things. That's why I was like, I kind of want to see this last Daniel Craig Bond just so I can get it out my system, so we can go back to having fun. Because supposedly the next one is going back to having fun.
Black chick's in it and she's going to be his replacement. Everybo's upset about that.
Well, first of all, Lashana Lynch is beautiful, so she can be my. Hey, I don't know what they're complaining about.
Well, there's a certain group of alpha males that complain about stuff like this in movies when it happens.
Hey, all you have to say is "thick thighs save lives," and they will agree. So that's all you have to say.
Oh, I'm gonna replace bond with a woke black female. Yeah, it's nonsense.
Yeah, I want her to be woke because she's fine. She need to be woke. I want her to be alive. The heck wrong with you? Like that's what I'm saying. Like we ain't even seen the movie. Like why you mad?
Because these dudes, that's what they do. They make money off of making videos about these social issues that they make up for movies.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here just like, dude, I'll say it after I'll go watch a movie and it's like that. Until I watch the movie,
you go watch the movie and it has nothing to do with any of the stuff these guys are complaining about, and it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, like when they all got mad about Captain Marvel, I'm like, yeah, y'all all got mad about Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel made over $1 billion. In the words of the comedian Sinbad, you ain't gonna make $1 billion in Hollywood without racists going to watch your movie.
And they still hate her, and she didn't say anything that bad. Like she
did not articulate her point very well.
Right. She didn't say it well.
Yeah,
she had
what she said she had a point, and people got mad about it. But I'm like, if it was me and I could talk to Brie Larson, I'd be like, Brie, I get what you was trying to say, and I applaud you for that. But you don't need to alienate your fan base, because the problem is the Captain Marvel fan base is white males, whether you want to believe it or not. So,
no, but she wasn't even talking about Captain Marvel though.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, but when she was talking, she was basically saying like, I don't need a 40-year-old white male. I'm like, dude, don't say that. Yeah. If you want to, you
could have said the same thing without going that hard on it.
Yeah.
You could have said
she went hard.
These guys can't relate to a film about young black women. That's it. That's all you would have had to say.
Yeah,
she
like
to the white male 40-year-old, they got mad. They ain't like that.
When she said that, I'm like, yeah, this ain't gonna end well. So, because I'm like, I get it. Because if it was me, and I would feel like she's talking about me, and she don't even know me, because she made a sweeping generalization.
Right.
You know,
said maybe these guys. All she had to do was say maybe these guys don't understand. They can't relate to a story about young black women. Boom, done.
And like, and I would, because I think after that she wanted to talk about bringing in a more diverse press junket, and they got mad about that too. I'm like, dude, now what did she say that was wrong about that?
That wasn't wrong at all. She had a point on both things, but that was even way less of an issue.
Yeah, that was way less. And now a lot of people are mad at her just because of the whole her having a YouTube channel. I'm like, are you serious? Like, y'all need a hobby.
I mean, movies have had YouTube channels for years now. I mean, it's way past time to get mad about that.
That was about 5 years too late.
I got mad about it only because it's taking viewers away from me. Maybe I don't get as many people watching my stuff. All these celebrities got channels now.
I mean, hey,
that was my only issue with it, but that was years ago.
Look, man, OnlyFans can only get something.
Oh man, OnlyFans.
Okay, we got and on that note, we end the podcast.
OnlyFans.
Look, man. Oh man, you bring up OnlyFans, boy, people get pissed. But but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We did kind of go off on a little bit of a tangent, but I hope you understand why we had this therapy session. Me personally, at the end of the day, I am one of those. There are very few films that I really want to see, that I would like. I have to see in the theater, and I think the way that this is going now, especially with the way digital distribution is handled, we were going to start getting stuff out quicker anyway, because people don't realize this, but we got Endgame 2 months after it released in theaters. People don't remember it though, but we did. So we were going to start getting
than what we used to get.
Yeah, it's way faster, because it used to be 6 months.
Be like before
you could even rent it. So
a year for cable.
Yeah, a year for cable. Now you get that stuff on TNT in 8 months. So it's just one of those things. It was going that way anyway. It just got pushed a little faster now. But with everything that's going on, I agree with Sony. I agree with Disney and Warner Brothers, because if my company's losing millions a day, I gotta try to make some of this money back, or at least try to break even on what I spent. So what I honestly think is going to happen is a lot of these blockbusters, they finna have to start figuring out a way to get cheaper, like figuring out different ways to film and use technology to shoot, because I don't think companies going to be really willing to
that hard. There's a lot of people
chuck over 200 million plus a movie now. They're just not going to do it.
Yeah, that model needed to die, 10 years ago anyway. But it's just like with video games. Games are getting way too expensive. You got to get back to making these games at reasonable budgets, because this is
they fin too, because they can't sustain the model. Everybody know. Well, Wada said it back in 2005, but
he said it 15 years ago.
And now everything he's saying is coming to light. So he wasn't wrong. He's like, dude, you can't sustain this model. Nobody can. And as much as we love Microsoft can't sustain that model, and Microsoft ain't gonna sustain that model, because Satella ain't gonna allow them to lose that much money.
Nope.
He just
unless they get 200 million subscribers,
which is probably not gonna happen.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those situations where I think everybody's gonna have to be ambitious, but not be so ambitious that it becomes costly. I think that's what's going to happen.
Look at what happened to Neil Blomkamp.
Oh, dude, man,
he made amazing looking films
for $25 million and less.
Budgets.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan.
So let's get back to exactly. Can we get back to finding guys like him and using that model, because that's the way to go.
I mean, the biggest movie Ryan Coogler made was Black Panther. That was $200 million, but he did Creed on 25. He did Fruitvale Station on 9 or 10 mil, and he knows how to work within his budget. So, and he didn't ask for the 200 mil. That's what Disney gave him. He didn't ask.
That's what directors like that a lot more. Trust me, as a burgeoning director, we like the fact. We like working with less, because it makes you way more creative. Because you have to figure it out. Give them all this money, even to a creative person, that's just not a good way to go. You want them to be creative and and find ways to make things work. That makes movies better. That actually makes movies better.
Movies and TV shows. I'm telling you right now, The Mandalorian,
TV, right?
Fire. Mandalorian is fire. They're not
that tech they're using. They just built. They're building 3 new studios with that tech.
Yeah,
that's great.
Because that's how they're gonna have to do it. Because they're not spending. People think they're spending like $100 million episode. No, they're not.
Nope,
they're not. You're getting movie quality effects, and you're not spending movie quality money. Yeah,
you're in a studio. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're not going on location.
It looks like it, but they're not on location. They're in the damn studio.
So when I saw the gallery, and if you want to, people, you can go watch season 1 of The Gallery on Disney Plus if you have it. You'll see how they shoot it. It's
great,
very interesting. So that's why I'm thinking, because people are saying, well, Disney's going to have to start charging more. I don't think now they're going to charge more just because
they're going to charge more. It'll be 12 or something like that.
But I think using that tech that they're using for Star Wars, that's how they're going to be able to. That's how they're going to do this.
Yep, that's the future right there.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, it is what's funny.
That is the future, but it's the past.
Yeah.
It's the future, but it's stuff that they used to do with rear projection and all that stuff in the studio.
It's the past with a better chip processor.
Yeah, way better. I love that as a movie file, as a Hollywood historian. I love the fact that we're going in the future by going back to what we used to do. I think that's so cool.
It with better tech. You're doing it with better tech.
Yeah, with better tech, right?
Yeah.
I just think that's really cool.
Can you imagine what Alfred Hitchcock could do nowadays with the stuff we got now?
boy.
Because he was doing that stuff with Hershey's chocolate syrup and freaking camera angle.
Exactly.
Like, geez.
Exactly.
Like, we wouldn't have to put up with freaking PG-13 hard no more.
They were very creative because they didn't have what we have.
Yeah, they had
another thing.
Well, nobody giving them no $300 million.
Exactly. $300 million. Very creative.
Like, you'll be working for me the rest of your life. $300 million. But yeah, that's just one of those things. So I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Do you agree with the directors? Do you agree with Disney and Warner Brothers having to do what they have to do? Just leave a comment. Let us know. We'll engage with you in the comment section. T, anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
No, that's it. It's a interesting time in entertainment. I'll just say that.
Yeah, it's hella interesting. So we're gonna stay on top of this, and I know we both as video game heads are so glad that Monster Hunter's coming out on something, because I'm not going to the theater to watch that. So I'm not going to the theater to watch that.
No way.
No way. No. You better come on video on demand, or I am not going to the theater to watch that. So yeah, that's going to do it for this therapy session. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be back with a few other ones, because I have a couple ideas for some therapy session gaming style though. So be on the lookout for that. And we'll see you next time. Peace out, peeps.
Peace.